edit the
right there, just all face. Yeah. All right, fam. Welcome to another episode of Grind to Grow. Today we are mobile. We are with lovely Jessi here at her studio. It's a special and also one of a kind episode because we're gonna talk about something that I've never heard of. We'll go deep into it, but today we have the opportunity to talk to Jessi, longtime friend, client, member, athlete, expert in fitness. How we doing, Jessi?
Great.
Yeah.
Happy to be doing this.
Oh yeah, no, we've been talking about this for what? About doing an episode. We've done one before.
We have, but it's been 3 years. I think it was August 2022. Yeah, exactly 3 years.
Wow, that's amazing that you remember even the month.
I remember because I had this awful injury that happened like the day before, and I was, while we were recording, I was trying to make it look really natural, but I couldn't turn my head to the left or right.
That's been me lately because of the tightness and stuff like that. We talk about my neck. It's been like very like robotic. And then he was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just falling apart." So, but wow, 3 years. I can say that we've come a long way.
Yeah,
It's
we have.
a lot that has happened.
Yeah.
A lot that we've done in our own world, right?
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so I am a body worker and an educator. I've been teaching for about 5 years in the massage bodywork space. And I focus on clinical and sports massage. So oftentimes working with a lot of clients that are either athletes or coming to me with really stubborn pain patterns and things they want to address and get a change with.
So that's the whole world, right?
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to come in, it's a waste. Awesome. So when I heard that you were doing this competition, the first thing I said was like, say that again. So you went to I'm just gonna let you say it. Yes.
Yes, a massage championship. Competition, championship, sort of interchangeable there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you discover this?
I mean, so I've been a body worker for like going on 8 years, and I remember when I was in massage school, about 8 years ago, I saw some maybe videos or heard something about massage competitions, and I thought it sounded so weird, and and I was like, how can you judge that? And I think I had sort of a bypass judgment of it, but it was on my head. And then I started seeing some other videos kind of come up. They were really popular in more Eastern Asian countries, but then and I don't have the exact year, I should get that, but then in Europe we have the International Massage Championship as well, that started before the American Massage Championship. And so in the last, I think it was 4 years ago, the American Massage Championship came to the US as part of the World Massage Festival, and I started seeing some more videos or just hearing of people doing that, and it just became a little bit more like under my subconscious a little bit. And then it wasn't until last year there was a state championship in South Carolina, and I just got connected through social media with the directors and realized, like, oh, I think I want to do that. It had to cook a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I couldn't make it that time, but it came across my feed again that there's one in North Carolina, and I have a friend in town who works with those championships, and I was able to get a little bit of information from her and a little confidence, and so I went and I competed in the my first championship in March this year.
And then, so that was March.
That's March. Mm-hmm.
So, how was that experience? That's your first competition.
It was awesome.
Yeah?
It was awesome. Yeah, I loved it. I learned so much. I won nothing, right? I went there and I was like, I'm really good at what I do. I'll probably win something, just like maybe a little bit of overconfidence, which you need when you're competing. But also like, well, it's a new experience. Let's see what this is all about.
Right.
And it was awesome. Like I learned so much. There's a lot about competition massage that's different than treatment room massage, like what I do here in my treatment room.
I'll bet, yeah.
It's simply because it's it's one-on-one. We're in a room, just the two of us. There's just a lot of setup differences and a lot of the way that you have to present what you're doing to the judges, whereas like, all I'm presenting is to my client, and what they're feeling, and so it's really different, and I didn't have that awareness going into it the first time, and that just like afterwards I was like, oh, I get it, okay. And then of course I didn't win anything. I did come in 4th place in the clinical category that first time, which I found out after the fact, and that was nice. I'm like, okay, I was close, so the first 3 place, and then after that they don't. So anyway, after that first one, I was like, oh, I'm going back. I'm doing more.
So I can kind of relate a little bit with kettlebell juggling.
Yeah.
Just because it's teaching or trying to explain to somebody what kettlebell juggling is. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, you're just throwing a kettlebell around or whatever, and immediately I'm like, okay, you do it. Here's a kettlebell, right?
Show me what you got.
Yeah, there's this whole technique about it. There is the fact that strength endurance, and you have to position the kettlebell a certain way to go into the next element. It has to have this flawless rotation so you can catch it and blah blah blah, right? Yeah. And then going into a competition, it's different. It feels different than when you are just recording yourself trying to do something. Just kind of like you, when you're with a client, I don't even know all the muscles, so people, right? And when you're explaining to somebody, to a new client or a new person, I guess you can be more, I won't say more relaxed, but you're in your element. You know what you're doing. You're a professional. You've done this for a long time. Unlike being present or in front of a bunch of professionals who may have more experience than you. They're watching you every move, and like you said, you have to kind of follow the steps. So were you nervous in the first competition?
Yeah, I was, and I went into it feeling like, I don't feel like I'll be nervous because one, I teach, and so there's an element of comfortability of doing a massage and doing work in front of sometimes like 16, 20 people, right? And so I'm like, oh, I'm used to that, but it's way different when you're being judged, and so I went into it thinking like, oh, this is probably might be a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think I'll be fine. And then I started and I was like, oh my god, I'm actually really nervous right now. But it's also it was good for me because it's been probably since I've been in school, since I've had eyes on me like critiquing, and so I think it was actually a healthy experience. Yeah. So is there categories in the competitions? Yeah, so that's how they're divided, is by modality or sort of like modality grouping. So for example, a couple of categories are like Swedish massage is a style of massage modality. So you gotta stay within the bounds of that modality. there's Thai massage, there's facial massage, there's sports massage, Western and Eastern freestyles, which are sort of integrative styles that are either influenced by Eastern teachings and techniques or Western teachings and techniques, and then in clinical. I might have missed a couple, but they're divided by categories.
Okay. So, on your first competition, how many people competed on your category?
Oh, in my category. I remember for sure in the clinical category, I think there were 16 participants. And sports, there were quite a few as well. And then I also did Western freestyle, that first one. I think overall at the North Carolina one, there were roughly 30 competitors.
Okay.
And then most recently I went to the American Massage Championship, and there were roughly 100.
Okay.
So, bigger.
Like all together for all different
Total,
okay.
And then each category had varying numbers of participants. And so in clinical, in American Massage Championship, there were roughly 30.
Gotcha. Okay. So the second one, where you won.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Larger stage, more people.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You already did one?
Yeah.
So you were already kind of prepared of like what I'm going to experience, what do I have to do? Was it very similar, or there's a lot of there was differences between both competitions?
Both. So really similar. That was actually my third competition. So I went to North Carolina, like I said, didn't win. There's one in Michigan that came up, and I grew up in Michigan, and I thought that'd be fun to go represent in Michigan.
Okay.
And so I went to that one, and I won 2 medals there.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. And that was one gold in clinical, and then bronze, a 3rd place in the Western freestyle.
Oh, nice.
Category.
Okay.
And that was really helpful because leaving the North Carolina state, the first one that I, learned a lot. I was able to implement a lot of what I learned, practice it, see how that felt and how it, how it flowed in the competition setting. And then I wasn't sure if it felt like really big to go to the American Massage Championship because it's more competitors, more eyes, more cameras, more judges. But I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I had some great voices and, friends and coaches in my ear telling me try it out.
Yeah.
So I felt more prepared after that second competition,
yes,
to go do this. And the state championships are modeled largely after the American Massage Championship, so that there's a lot of similarities in how they're run and the category choices and the metrics for judging and everything in each category are modeled after the American Championship.
Okay.
So really similar, but everyone I've done so far has a different setup, just like a different physical space.
Right.
And so you may have more or less space to work, and that's a little bit of a challenge too, because you have to bring your whole setup with you. You got to bring what do you need, your tools of the trade. What can create a good therapeutic environment in this 8x10 space or this 10x10 space.
Gotcha.
So sometimes that physical space being slightly different is a little bit of a challenge. Creative challenge that you have to figure out.
Right, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a little bit different, but otherwise, it felt like, okay, I've done this a few times. I've got a little bit of an idea of what it's like, and it's almost like you just can't know until you do it.
Yeah. Well, and going back to what I've done competition wise, that's what the people that have done it for many years. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just you won't know what it feels like, or what you're gonna end up doing or how you're gonna end up doing until you actually step on stage and do it, right? And it is, yeah, you know, you're nervous, anxious, like what if I mess up? And like the pros that I got to see, they're pros for a reason, all right? They still messed up. They still have, you know, some flaws and stuff like that. And that's just how it is with any sport, right? But definitely the encouragement from other coaches to be like, no, just do it. Just do it. And like, that's what they kept telling us going into first day of competition. Do it all. Do all the events. Even if you don't think you're ready, just do it, because who knows what you're gonna find out about yourself with that particular event, what you're gonna learn. And who knows that you might end up like liking that one thing that you were not going to do. And it's definitely I can say the same thing like you said, that it was just awesome. Learn so much because you're there with people that are doing what you're doing. They understand you more. They're like, oh, you're my people. Right?
Exactly,
so I can relate, because it was also a smaller event compared to like, you know, CrossFit or weightlifting and stuff like that. This was much smaller, which is kind of the same thing that you experienced. Much more technical, because there's all this things that you have to follow, the rules. I don't know if there's like point system or whatever, like, but for us it's the same. That's how it is. It's all point system, and then you have to turn in a routine and you have to perform it. And if you mess up, they'll deduct points and stuff like that.
You have to turn in your routine prior to.
Yes.
Oh,
same
cool.
thing.
No, not this. No, you don't have to turn it in prior. It's more of a.
Just kind of like, okay, yeah.
Form.
So you do 2 categories, right? Clinical.
2 to 3,
2 to 3.
depending
Okay.
on, you know.
Okay. Is there a certain length of time?
Yeah, everybody has an hour for most every category except for clinical. So clinical is the most technical category, and it was developed more recently by Robert Tiberend, who is one of the guys that's been a player in the massage championships for a while, and he developed this to showcase more of like clinical results that can
Gotcha.
Be seen through massage. And so it's part of that judgment is how you perform your intake, how you're assessing your client's complaint, how you are communicating about what you're doing with your client, and then of course it's technique, it's your body mechanics, but then it's really about assessment throughout the whole 30 minutes, and they give you less time because they want it to be really targeted to one complaint, one primary concern.
Gotcha.
So that one's only 30 minutes. The other categories that I've competed in have been 60 minutes long.
So 60 minutes. That's a long event.
It is. However, it is also what I'm doing a lot in my treatment room, with clients, and so I have a little bit of a comfortability with that time frame. And I think a lot of therapists do. So it's sort of like what we do, but it's a lot, and it also feels like a little bit like it feels like it goes really fast because there's so much to incorporate, and especially a complete whole body treatment.
That's true.
And you really in a competition, you really want to showcase your techniques.
Right.
So it's not even. It might not be that in a real live treatment, in my office with clients, that I would do every single one of those things.
Right. Yeah.
It's you pick and choose the best tool for the moment, but in a competition setting, it's a performance of sorts, and so you're showcasing, all of the most beautiful techniques that you have.
Right.
And, the visual ones, and of course the most effective ones. So, so sometimes 60 minutes almost doesn't feel like enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, now that I think about it, it makes sense to have that length of time, because like you mentioned, you you have to cover all these details, all this, you have to check all these boxes. Yeah, it's just like when you first told me about the competitions, in my head is like, oh, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and next person. In my head, you were going like from person to person, like fixing one thing. Okay, this is a calf, a glute, like that was in my head. But now that we're
interesting category.
and this is a speed round, guys. You ready? Okay, you have an hour to fix 10 areas. It makes sense now that you are unfolding and explaining this. Just because there's so much that you can do in one area.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
so much.
yeah. Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I know that we've been working for a while, right? There's stuff that you've been dealing with, right?
Like physically, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. We won't talk about other stuff.
No.
No. Yeah. So, what did you do going into each competition? Like, did you feel like physically 100% on, or almost 100%? Like, was there any like, what if I tweak something? What if I do something wrong? What if I aggravate something? Like, did any of that happen?
I mean, it definitely was on my mind prior to the competitions, but it's also something that I'm like, I have to think about all the time because my job is physical, and so I had a torn AC joint a couple years, right before our podcast episode, and I didn't rehab it super well at the time. I've learned better. Now we know. Live and learn.
Good job, Jessi.
Thank you.
Good job, yeah.
And so over the last few years, I've been really diligent in, if something comes up, if, sometimes some recurring irritation happens, I have a physical therapist, I have you, I have some massage therapists, on my team, an acupuncturist. Like, I will hit a couple of points that I know help me.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that helps me is my own movement practice. And so I have to be really like perfectly balanced with the dosage of like strength training that I do and mobility stuff that I do, because it happens sometimes that I can train a little too hard and have some irritation. It's not injured, but it's not comfortable for 48 hours, 72 hours, and that shows up in my work. If I'm working and I have some pain, I have a few things that I can do to mitigate it. Like I can use my other arm, I can do different techniques that are easier on my body, but it's not ideal. And so I try to be really precise and diligent with my rehab and my PT exercises and strength training, but definitely so that's every day. But definitely before the championship, you probably noticed you didn't see me as much that week. I was just sure I did a lot of mobility work, and I did some really light weights and strength training, but I just didn't want to put myself into the point where I'm dealing with soreness. Anything that would make my movements just be a little bit, more ginger or restricted. And that worked. That was great. So, and then as soon as I got back, I'm like, okay, we're getting back into it, and just slowly amping up, training again. And it's okay if I'm a little bit sore on a work day, but I just have to be aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can't imagine like dealing with something or having something that it's aggravating you or it's painful. And because you're doing the work to the body, people just laying there and you're just doing everything. And like, I'm dealing with something right now, and like, all I gotta do is just show a few things, and then I'm done. And I'm like, I haven't really worked out in the past almost week, because my body, it's acting up like a child. And it is. And I was like, okay, take the week off, just like super light work, kind of like what you mentioned, like I know what I need to do, and sometimes it's like really almost nothing
Yeah.
of everything. And every time I think of that, it drives me nuts because I want to do everything of everything, right? And it's like, oh, I know I can do it. Oh, I can push through. No, you can't, because you just end up back where you were, or even worse.
Yeah.
So, like all those things that you mentioned before, like I have this person and I have this person and I can go to this person, or I have, you know, this protocol of movements, of mobility things that I need to do if this happens. I think that's amazing. I feel like all of us that work in the fitness world, trainers, coaches, massage therapists, personal trainers, physical therapists, should have that, right?
Yeah.
Or even have that network of people that you can call, be like, can you fit me in because I need to get fixed or something, you know? So I think that's great. And also always making the assessing what we're doing and how we're doing things, and maybe we have to adjust because it's not feeling so good, but I still got to get the job done because I have these clients. Okay, how do I work around it but I still get my work done? So that's awesome that you've gone to this place where you can on the spot make those changes, make those adjustments. So that's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, if it feels like it's helped when my mindset looks at it like I'm training for something, you know, because I see a lot of athletes in my practice, and I see a lot of runners, and if they're training for a marathon or an ultra marathon, you know, their training schedule is sort of like commensurate with when the race is coming. So they'll amp up their miles, they'll amp up their training, and then that week before the run, before the race, it's sort of a cool down week, you know. I mean, there's a little bit of running still, there's some miles put in, but it's not, you know, it's not that like hard, full run, because they're letting their body do what it needs to do to rest for that big thing. And so sometimes having that mindset is like, this rest is doing something for me. This rest is playing a part. It's playing its role, and it's not me like not meeting my goals. It's not me having to like stop what I like to do, you know, and not meeting my goals. I'm actually working towards my goals by not doing anything or by doing less, you know.
No, yeah, I completely agree, and that's been one of the toughest lessons for me to learn. And like I'm always coaching people like, oh no, you need to rest, you need to do this, you need to do that. The reason why you're hurting is because you're going just every day non-stop, and on top of that you have all these other things that you're doing in your personal life, and there is activity level that happens in your personal life on top of training, and the reason why you're hurting is because guess what? There hasn't been any rest, your body hasn't recovered. So I'm experiencing that, and it's really, really feel like I make the joke that all my past injuries are catching up with me now, and my body's like, nope. Literally, it's just like saying no over and over and over. I think that's also God telling me to slow down, that I probably do need to rest. And so yeah, it's I completely agree. Like rest, recover, reset. It's super important. And I love what you said about seeing it like a competition, that you have an event like that. I like that because it gives you a goal, or you have a goal. You set up a goal, and then you should be able to create a plan or a schedule, just like a runner, just like the next competition. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Come the week before, or 2 weeks, or whatever, it's rest time. It's recover. It's let the body heal, because I'm going to do something huge, whatever. Yeah.
And I think you gotta also recognize that sometimes your body's going to be in a different place too, so that is going to change and evolve over time, and that's really hard to deal with too. Is like, but I used to be able to do this way, and, and to not place judgment on you know, the comparison of what the capacity that you used to have versus what it is right now, it's really hard. And I think that's extra hard for athletes, you know, because we're sort of trained to like blow past this pain signaling, you know. I mean, it's in order to progress, you know, if you're running and you want to run faster, or you want to, you know, run longer, like there's a level of ignoring your body telling you that I'm dying and this is awful. You know, you have to on a healthy level, but then it's like that becomes a pattern for us, I think, really easily. It's like, well,
Right.
we can push harder, we can, like, if we just keep going. And it really is making the rest be, you know, like a really important role in your training and your like regimen to actually feel good about being able to do it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, one of the he's a doctor too, and he trains a lot of bodybuilders and that that area of fitness, and he's very always telling people you have to rest. Like if you look at a bodybuilder, they train for this long, but then they recover so much. They recover so long so they can hit the next session or the next week or whatever. Everybody's different. They're split on the week is different. Some people, you know, can work 6 days workout 6 days a week, and other people like, no, I can get it done in 4 or whatever. So that the recovery, the rest is super important to heal the body so you can go back and do it again, because you want to lift heavier, because you want to, and you know, we can talk about rest recovery, and you know, that's a whole different area, and it is different for every athlete, for every person. And I think that's also important for all of us to, part of the assessing process, to pay attention to, like, okay, why am I not making progress? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I moody? I mean, you got to go through a whole list of like, okay, I'm not the same person when I started this process or whatever, or this training. Like, what am I doing? Or like, what do we need to change? What do we need to adjust? And also having other people like watch you do it can also be a huge help, to be like, maybe you need to take the day off, or maybe your training needs to change here, or maybe you need to not do this because it may causing you to end up here.
Oh yeah, because there's so, like, no matter how much you know, you know, about the body and about fitness and recovery and all that, like there's always blind spots with yourself, you know. And so even though you've told me things that I'm like, yeah, you're right, you know, I'm like, I guess I do know that, but I couldn't see it for myself, you know. And so I think it's so important to have other eyes on you, you know, or on, you know, what's going on in your life, and get a little bit of help, a little bit of support, a little bit of feedback.
Yeah. And have you ever had this happen? It happens to me a lot, because we tell people what to do, right? But you're giving somebody a advice, or trying to recommend something, like, do this because it's gonna help you get this or whatever. And once you said it, have you ever like said it to yourself, like, oh, maybe I need to do that too?
Yeah, I have. I think even like the first, I don't know, 4 years of my career, I did not take my own advice sometimes, but you know, I was really not very good at like walking the walk, you know. And then like, you get injured or you do something and you just realize, like, what am I even doing? What am I doing? You know, and it just becomes this like really clear light bulb moment where you realize, I gotta take my own advice. And if I'm gonna be working in this field and trying to help people with these issues, like I have to have my own practice of doing that too.
Yeah, this is a little while ago, I had a conversation with another coach, and he asked me, like, do you think personal trainers, coaches, you know, we work in this area, in this field, should we have goals that we are, trying to achieve? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right? And I know at the beginning of our career, it's like you need to get clients, you gotta make money. You're starting your journey, right? And everybody's different. But I do think that if we're telling somebody like you need to do this so you can get here, we have to do the same thing for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Whatever that is, but like, I don't know. I always tell Haley, like, if not that I have to be like the fittest person in the room, but I want to make sure that I move a certain way because I'm trying to coach something or teach something a certain way, and I want to make sure that it's delivered a certain way so people can be like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Oh, he does it himself. Example, squat. If I can't squat, then like I'm in big trouble.
You can't teach it.
Well, and not so much you can't teach it, but I don't know. It's, and I know everybody has their own opinion about, how to do certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like us professionals, not say that we know everything because we don't. It's just think we're always learning. There's always something to learn or get to improve or get better at.
100%.
Right? But I think we are representing something. In this case, is it's moving better. It's all this other things. So we have to practice that as much as we can. So when the time comes and somebody is like us something or we're trying to demonstrate something, we can't do it.
Yeah, there's not like honesty in that I think people feel in their body, and then it just feels better to have that dynamic when
for sure.
coming from it.
Yeah. So done 3 competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's is there another one already in sight? Do you already have a calendar for like the next 5 years already lined up?
I mean, you know what? I'm going like roughly a year out with my thinking on this.
Okay.
It's so fun. I really enjoy the community aspect. Like you mentioned, it's like these are my people.
Mm-hmm.
Where else can I just nerd out with a lot of body workers that love doing what they're doing, learn so much. I mean, also just seeing people do the same thing, like a similar technique or working on the same area of the body, but with their own creative spin. It's not that I'm seeing it and thinking, oh, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna do that exact same thing in my practice. But it's like, oh, I never thought about it like that. I never thought that I could. It breaks the mold, you know. And I think that's so important to put yourself in those spaces where you are, out of your own head and out of your own box, and just seeing the possibilities. Because especially in massage bodywork, it's a science, but it's an art form, and so you have to be able to bring something of yourself to each session, and to like bring a little creativity to it.
Right.
So I digress, but I love that aspect of it so much. So I'm really excited to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed some of the state competitions. I'm definitely going to do North Carolina next year because I love you guys.
Gotta represent.
You gotta represent. And it's just, it's fun to be there. But it's a lot of work too. You gotta pay money to participate and to travel. Mm-hmm. And even though it's in the state, it's not in my city, and so there's traveling and hotels and taking time off work. So I'm probably gonna do fewer,
right,
but be really intentional about the ones I want to do. So I would like to do North Carolina. I'd like to go back to the American Massage Championship again, and I'd like to do the international one next year. Well,
nice.
We'll see. I haven't bought my tickets yet, but I was pretty encouraged.
Yeah.
At this last one, some of the judges told me that they'd love to see me in Denmark. So I hope to be in Denmark.
You have to do it.
I know.
You have to do it.
Yeah. And it's really exciting too to think about, even broadening that community aspect even more into more of an international platform. I mean, at this last championship, I met people from I think 12 different countries. Probably there were people from other places I didn't even get a chance to meet and talk with, and that was just really cool. You just see so many different ways of doing things, and I really like connecting with other body workers in that way. So I'm excited about the Copenhagen one next year.
That's awesome. But there's so many similarities to what I experienced. Because literally what you said, that's what I talk about with other athletes. After the competition that I did in Arizona, that was my first one, and we talked through social media. We commented on we tagged each other, blah blah blah, this and that, but seeing them in person, seeing them perform, and like, oh, you're real, you're a human, you exist, right? Completely different experience. But going back to that, you're like me, you do what I do, you understand me, because it is, even though there's people there's kettlebell coaches, but kettlebell juggling is so small, and it's growing really fast, but it's still very, very, very small compared to other sports. So that's one thing that we said a lot, like, we get each other. We don't have to explain it. Oh yeah, we know what that is. But everybody has their own style. Even though we are performing the same elements, the same flips, we can name each element or each combination, but we have our own style. We move a certain way, and every single person that I talked, we had that same conversation. It's like, you move like Louise, you move like Jessi, and you can tell immediately, like, that's your own. You've created your own. And like you mentioned, it's good to get involved in this sort of environment. For me, it was for the learning. Just because, like, I want to know what this is all about. I enjoy it so much. It's so much fun. Like, let's take it to the next level. On every single area. So that's you gotta go to Denmark.
I gotta go to Denmark. I know, and that's it exactly. It's like, I mean, winning is great. Like, it feels really nice. I feel great, and that I won, and that feels really satisfying. But even that first one where I didn't win anything, and moving on, like, if I don't win, it's so much of, it's asking yourself, what can you grow in, and what can you expand on, and like, how can you be just that much better than yesterday? And that in and of itself is so worth it, because when we're only working in sort of in a vacuum, like just ourselves in isolation, we just don't have that like external sandpaper, to like polish our craft.
Oh, completely agree. Like, I had this conversation with Tara the other day, where we are in our own bubble. We are running a business. We do everything. Like, one person does everything, all of it. And I make the excuse that I don't have time for this or time for that, but we have to make time for it. So I think doing this is great, because like you mentioned, you get outside of your own world to experience that, which is it's what I'm doing. It's the same thing that I'm doing, on a larger scale, to learn, to grow, and to be like, maybe I am really good, or maybe like, wow, there is so much that I need to learn, because I'm in my own bubble. I'm just right here. And whether that's feared or just whatever it is, I think everybody should not so much compete or not compete, but get out of their own world. And even I mean, in my case, like, I didn't know how many like independent personal trainers are in Asheville. I didn't know. Like, I know just a few from back from where I was with goals.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah, there's a few that I like, oh, social media, like that one popped up. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I've seen you. But then when we got to meet everybody in person, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot. There's so many of us here. So creating that network.
Yeah.
And knowing that there is more people like you, they might be going through the same thing, and being able to help each other, encourage each other, or like, hey, do you want to come to this competition with me?
Yeah.
You know, to keep that growing.
Yeah, I think that's so important because I think culturally we're shifting from this idea that, you know, there's competition between us and maybe we shouldn't get too close because I don't know, you're going to steal my ideas or something.
Or my clients.
Or my clients, that's it. But instead of, we're moving away from that and realizing we only make each other better. And I love this quote, I use it all the time. A rising tide lifts all ships. You know, like if we can work together and make, help each other out, just feel a little less lonely in what we're doing, like we're only going to both benefit from that. And nothing like rubs me the wrong way, like feeling this vibe of like competition. I don't want to talk to you because you do what I do. I'm like, don't, like, come on, let's hang out, let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's make each other better. Why not?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because I remember when I first started Caffeine and Fitness, my mindset was I have to learn everything so I can teach everything, so I can get as many clients, because I have to make money, because, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And now it has shifted, especially being around other coaches, other trainers, and like even the competition too, I need to create such a big network of people, professionals, either know more than I do, or even if we teach the same things, but there's always something that I can learn from you. There's always something you can learn from me. Mm-hmm. And the possibilities are endless. But like the sky's the limit. Yeah. Really. So it's like now it's like, okay, how can I collaborate with all these people? Yeah. We kind of do the same thing, but in our own way. How can we get together? How can we work together to continue growing? Yeah. Because even though we live in the same city, like I can tell you that I probably know like not even 10 trainers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's kind of sad. Yeah. Because it should be the other way around. It should be like, oh yeah, I know this person, I work with this person is great. Not to say that they're not, but the more we get out there, the more we work with people, the more we connect and network, or even like, hey, let's do a workout together. I actually did that the other day. I never met him, but he does rope flow. Oh, cool. And I was like, we need to do a workout together. That was literally my comment. Yeah. So I feel like for me, I need to do that more. Yeah. To meet more people, learn more, and just see who's out there. Because who knows? Maybe I need to refer somebody to. Because I don't know it. Oh, I know somebody. Yeah. Good. Go here.
Yeah, it feels good. I love it. That just happened last night. Somebody reached out with a particular medical issue that I don't have as much knowledge in, and I was like, let me get you somebody who knows. It feels good. I'm like, I'm helping that client out. I'm helping that therapist out, and it's a win-win. I don't feel like that got taken away from me. Right. It's like, why am I going to help you with something that I can't help you with?
No, exactly. Yeah. So, what? When is Denmark? Is it exactly a year from now?
Next early July. So just under a year.
Under a year, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so preparing for this big event, what does that look like?
So, okay, it's funny because for this last championship, I competed in 2 categories, like Western freestyle and clinical. And I didn't I didn't practice hardly anything for the clinical at all because I was like, this is what I do in my office. It's a surprise what you're gonna get, what medical issue or injury or complaint you'll get that day. So I'm like that's what I do. It's always a surprise. I don't know, like I don't know what my clients are gonna come in with, and that's part of the fun. I mean, fun and also challenge and the like creativity of body work is seeing what you have in the moment and then what out of your toolbox is gonna come together to create this like really helpful session for this person.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't practice for that one, and I won gold in that one. Western freestyle, I actually practiced probably like 10 hours of hands-on practice I had people come in working, giving free massages, mostly friends coming in to practice this routine that was I will say it's like definitely techniques that I was comfortable with that I do daily, but in a more like showcasing kind of way. That part was a little out of my comfort zone, so I'm like, I'm gonna practice with this. I didn't win anything in that one, which I mean it's fine, but it's just funny. I'm like, I spent so much time preparing and practicing for this one category, and I won in this other one that I didn't give as much preparation to. So that being said, I am still gonna have, I'm gonna be like thinking while I'm working. I do my best thinking while I'm seeing clients. It's like, I don't know, the creative flow state kind of comes on, and I'm thinking about, I'm present in the moment, but then there's also these like little light bulbs coming up, like, oh, that would work for this routine.
Yeah.
So that's what the preparation looks like a little bit, is like, how do I want to present and tell a story with the body work, and I'll be thinking about that over the next couple months, and then thinking about how I want to actually, like, I want to visually present it, what actual physical items I want to bring with me, because there's an element of the presentation that is your space.
Right.
It's very few points go to that because it's really going to the craft,
Right. Yeah.
But there's an element of that, so I'll be thinking about that for the next couple months, and then logistically too, it's actually pretty challenging to figure out how you're gonna pack all that stuff in a suitcase.
So you don't have to take your table, right?
You do have to take your table.
Okay.
Well, this last one I rented a table.
Okay.
But not every competition has tables available for rent, and I don't think that's the case in this international one. So it's like, I gotta figure out, how do I bring my massage table with me? It's just an extra fee, but I can do it. So I gotta bring that. You gotta, fit all of the tools of the trade that you want to bring with you in a suitcase. You gotta like logistically figure out how you're gonna get there and like deal with any language barriers there might be, and all of that.
That reminds me of Ken. He just went to Iceland, so he bought this ginormous metal case for his bike.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it was, that was his biggest concern, is like, I don't want to lose this very expensive piece of tool that I needed for the event. So wow, mine is a piece of cake. I just have to stuff my kettlebell in the suitcase.
It's a heavy suitcase.
Yeah. But wow, again, like, in my head, it's like, okay, table's right there, person's right there, okay, go. That was in my head. But wow, okay, yeah, so definitely, logistically wise, it's a lot to prepare and make sure that, you have all everything lined up and ready for that, especially on an international trip.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Wow, okay.
Which is why part of my long-term plan, which I forgot to get to, is eventually I'd like to judge.
Ooh.
You don't have to bring much for judging, just like yourself.
Yeah. Nice.
And I really appreciate that analytical side of things, especially coming from teaching, like a teaching background. I'm used to like looking at, how somebody's doing something and how it compares to, like proper technique or just like the innovation, like proper can sometimes go out the window because it's so brilliant that it works.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
I like that analytical piece. So
Yeah.
I felt like it was important to do a handful of championships as a competitor before I pursue, you know, the judging side of things, because you got to know what that's like. But that's in my future.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I did an episode with Tara yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were talking about trail running.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of runners, clients, as you know. And there's a few that do ultra races.
Yeah.
Ken is one of them. He does the ultra races with cycling. So it's hard to teach something that you haven't done, right? So the main reason why I did some of the races, the 12-hour one, is to experience the things that they were telling me that was happening during the race, you know, on our later sessions. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, but I haven't experienced it. I've done a half marathon or a 10K or whatever, but completely different than being on your feet, nonstop, moving for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah.
So definitely experiencing a long event like that and not knowing what my body was going to do or how it was going to react physically, mentally, emotionally. How was I going to be able to overcome certain things? So definitely having that experience kind of gave me more tools to coach the client, the athletes on later on events.
That makes sense. That's awesome.
And going into, like for me, going into later competitions, it's, want to get better, want to be more efficient, want to, blah, 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 blah. But eventually you want to also teach it and coach it properly and give that new person, new athlete, all the information correctly so they can go ahead and do it. So whenever they step on the stage, they know what they're doing. Or they're not, lost. And
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
But
yeah.
I'm so grateful that I kind of started doing that this
Yeah.
year. Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna need to, have to work something out with Caffeine and Fitness, and who knows, maybe start some sort of like sponsorship or something.
I am accepting
some
sponsors.
cool gear,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll work on something.
There are some massage competitors that have sponsorships, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, how'd you get that?
Huh.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta start now, Jessi.
Yeah.
To putting this together because a year's gonna fly.
July is right around the corner.
Oh,
it's
seriously,
August,
this
whatever,
year
but-
is just like gone.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's so interesting. Like there's just so many things out there that that I keep discovering or keep seeing. I'm like, wait, this exists? What is this?
I know.
And some things I'm like, why is that on TV? And other things was like, okay,
Like the nap competition.
oh my
It's
god.
like kind of underwhelming to watch, but
Well, when I did, I was talking to another competitor that I met in Arizona. He lives in Nashville, right? And he's like top 3 in America. Like he's just one of those freaks of nature, right? And we had to leave on Saturday afternoon. No, we had to leave Sunday morning to come back. So I didn't get to compete Sunday. There was 2 more events that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it. After the competition, they gave the awards, and then everybody went out to eat. They were eating, and there was like this ESPN thing happening, and they were showing professional pillow fight.
Yeah. I know.
2 like big dudes sponsoring everything, wearing uniform with a pillow, smacking each other.
It just, I mean, I just want, what's the rubric for judging that? I want to know. And I know that people, when I say I do massage championships, people are like, what? How do you judge that? So I get that there's probably some nuances there, that if you're really the pillow fighting, you get it, and if you're not, you don't. But how?
You gotta get knocked over and like knocked out of the ring. Okay. How heavy is the pillow? Right?
Yeah, is there like a standard weight? Are we talking down, or like,
is there like
polyester?
there some like beans inside just in case? Like, so I think it's, I'm gonna stop myself from judging,
You're
right?
not judging,
but if we were to compare pillow fighting and a massage competition, to become a massage professional, you have to go to school. You have to learn a bunch of things: knowledge, experience. You have to be really good with people because you're talking to people too, right? You have to create this environment. Pillow fighting, all you got to do is just go pick it up and hit somebody, okay?
But if you are a professional pillow fighter and you're watching this and you want to school us on how please reach out.
Yeah, comment below. But yeah, no, I think it's awesome. It's like when you first told me, I was like, I need to learn more about this because this is awesome. Because we get the same reaction from people like, you do what? But how? Like, and there's so many things that go into it, from preparing, especially after doing several competitions. Right now, you have a better idea. You got more. I guess you can say you got more tools under your belt. Like, okay, this is what could happen. Let's prepare for this one. Or I hit this wall. Okay, let's work on that. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. But then going into judging, that'd be awesome too.
Yeah, it sounds like just a fun way to keep participating in something that I find really awesome and fulfilling, and I learn from,
right,
in a different way where I don't have to ship a massage table. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll keep doing it for years and years to come.
Who knows? Maybe you get sponsored, and the sponsor is able to cover everything.
Yeah, and then you and Haley will come to Copenhagen, and there we go.
So it's out there, guys. We're going too. The whole crew is going.
You heard it here first.
So, Jessi, what's is there something that you're working on right now?
Yeah, I actually am kind of in this big transition in my work right now, where I'm still have my private practice that is going strong, and I'm loving that. But I just stopped teaching at the foundational massage program level last month, and I'm doing that in order to make more space for some continuing education classes that I'm putting out there in the world. I'm excited about that. I'm starting a podcast. Hope you'll be on it soon. And I'm excited about that. That's more geared towards body workers and just like the soft skills and the weird nuances that this industry has, and also how to be successful in it, how to bust out of the the working in a spa box that a lot of massage therapists get kind of stuck in and don't love. I mean, if you love it, then awesome, but if you don't, then how do you get out of that? So I'm excited to have those conversations, and kind of like we were talking about, just how important it is to network with other people in your industry and how to bring people together. A big part of those two things, like the classes, the podcast, is that I want to foster more of a community, locally, nationally, and internationally, amongst other body workers, so that we can just have a place to come and kind of share the load a little bit and learn from each other, be in community together, and just make it a little bit less isolating of an experience. So part of that is still in the works, but I'm hoping to have an online community that
Yeah.
you know is virtual, but then also has some in-person events as well.
Yeah, I think that's great. Because going back to what you said of, you know, if you're working at this particular place and if you love it, great. If you know, if you're happy there and, you know, it's meeting your needs and every area of your life, great. But many of us, you know, wanted to get out of that to do it kind of your way, because you were able, but you know, you could help more people. You had more freedom on certain things, not all of them.
Yeah.
But you wanted to create something of your own. So I have the same conversations with other coaches of like how it, you know, what it took to make that jump from working for somebody to working for yourself.
Yeah.
And then the challenges that you're gonna face, because they don't tell you that you're gonna face all these things or that you're gonna experience this, or that now you have to learn about taxes and you have to pay them to.
And you also have to pay them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good.
It's up to date.
Yeah. So there's so many things happening behind the scenes that our clients don't know. Even I don't know about yours. You don't know about mine.
Yeah.
It's mostly eating. That's it. Yeah.
Just a lot of eating.
Yeah, a lot of eating. Protein. Yeah.
A lot of snacks.
Yeah, but definitely having other people in the same profession that are doing the same thing and that could be facing the same challenges, just to voice it.
Yeah.
And just to be like, what have you done? Not that you're gonna copy them, but just to get some ideas, or like, I'm starting this, what do I do?
Yeah.
And sometimes just saying it aloud to somebody else could, you know, open a door, or you could be like, you can, you know, come up with something or whatever.
Yeah, and in an environment that's intentionally positive and uplifting, and I'm not like toxically positive, but like intentionally uplifting, because like I read a lot of Reddit threads around massage therapy, and sometimes the things people say is just insane. Like you can just, you know, really negative, like really based off of, you know, somebody's bitter bad experiences, you know, and I'm like, ooh, it doesn't have to be like that, you know. So I'm like, if we just come together with the purpose of growth and you know, community, then it's gonna have a different outcome than
No,
you know,
yeah.
an angry Reddit thread.
Yeah, it was like, remember when we had the first fitness professional meetup?
Yeah.
We had all these people.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea too, to bring us, many of us, to work together and help each other, you know, and to create that community that we can rely on, that we can lean on.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, and it needs to happen. And I do think it needs to happen within our own people, let's say, you know, like, but not to just stop right there, but that's the start.
Yeah.
With, you know, 2 of us, then 4, then blah blah blah, you know, and keeping that open communication between all of us, to like, I'm doing this, who wants to come, or I want to put this together, who can help, like those things. And I think it's also either feared of asking,
Yeah.
that we could get shut down, or like nobody's gonna want to help or whatever, or that I can do it myself, which I feel like is a very beginner's also mentality as a professional, whatever. Like, no, I have to do it all because it's mine, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is fear of asking.
Yeah.
But then you come to find out that there's so many of the people over there just like you that also need help, that also wish they thought about this, or they were thinking about the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, you can just lighten the load so much if you just ask.
Right. Yeah.
I get it's hard, but
Yeah, it is. So ask questions, people. Ask questions. But Jessi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for teaching us about your new adventure,
Yeah.
your new massage competition. It sounds amazing. It sounds fun. I'm very excited for the next one, next championship.
Yeah.
Once again, congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for making the time to do this. I know you're very busy.
Worth it. Gotta make time.
Yeah,
You gotta do it.
Gotta make time.
I know.
Gotta make time. So, everybody out there, if you guys have any questions about Jessi and what she does and what she's doing, please comment below. I'm gonna also put all of our handles on this video for you guys to follow us and ask questions. And until the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can edit this part out, but you want to see my medals?
We're gonna show medals now.
You want a shot with my medals?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna put them on. I also got coached in how to show my medals.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh.
One of the judges from the North Carolina, or I'm sorry, the co-director from the North Carolina Massage Championship is a total badass, and she's won a lot of championships. And she gave us all a little tutorial of how to do it.
Ah.
It's like this.
It's like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Plus, it makes a nice little clanging sound when there's so many.